All right, we're back from
We're
our
back.
break, and we got the Ranger,
All
the
right.
Grim
Grim
Harbinger,
Harbinger.
which,
Okay,
again,
okay.
the art looks cool.
The first thing I want to note is we have a new spell we have to look at.
Intrusive Despair.
This is a 4th level spell. It is concentration. It's an action, 90 foot. Material component I don't really care about. It's a enchantment. You curse a creature within range, filling his mind with paranoia and despair. When the target takes the attack or magic action, which I guess we could say if the target attacks or casts a spell,
Yep.
it must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or waste its action. Once the target succeeds on 3 saving throws against the spell ends. Give me a second. Hold person
Her person, second level.
is a 2nd level spell.
Yep. So we're getting a mixture of. Well, actually, this is just a mixture of.
This is.
Oh.
Ross, say your sentence so I can say mine.
This is a weird mixture of bestow curse, or no, not bestow curse. What is the one that if they fail 3 saves, they get a disease? 3 saves and they're fine.
I don't remember.
But
it is besides the point.
Yes.
My real point is, why is this a 4th level spell?
The fact that there's a no save and initial save.
Ross, you think that, but that's not true. The spell does nothing until they try to do something that would trigger a save.
Right, but if you do a comparison to something like slow, that
Ross, why would I compare it to slow?
Because
Old person.
Why exactly
Ross,
would hold person be like the immediate comparison?
All right, so here, let me explain to you why. Okay, let's go to good old fashioned hold person.
Yep. Action, 6-foot range, concentration.
So, for sake of example, if I cast hold person on somebody, what could they do under hold person that they could not do under intrusive despair?
Well, they literally can't do anything other than make the save.
And now I will reverse the question. Why would I ever pick to cast this spell over hold person?
Well, for me, it would be okay, hold person, and for the equivalent's sake, let's say hold monster as well. I know hold monster is a higher level spell slot than this, but those effect wise they're about the same. That's not a guaranteed success. This is at the very
Neither
least.
is this. Ross, you're misunderstanding how this works, and it's affecting you very badly. Hold person is a more guaranteed success than intrusive despair, which will definitely go away after a while. If they make the first 3 saves, this spell does nothing.
I guess that's true. Yeah.
I mean, there's no I guess. That's just true. Hold person. Fail 1 save. The spell at the very least paralyzes them for 1 turn. Hold person is much more reliable than intrusive despair, which, by the way, they can force you to drop concentration on.
That's fair.
Yeah, my point in this is this spell is approved without thought. It is awful. And we can't even have the arguments we usually had, because again, there is no scenario where I would want to use this that I wouldn't just use hold person.
Intrusive despair. Here it is.
Or again, I guess you could make the argument for hold monster being a higher level spell, but I maintain my point because there are elder spells, in which I have the same stance. Anyways.
Yep. Okay, I got them all, and now I believe that's our only spell. So let's go
Yes.
back to the
Okay.
Grim
Omen
Harbinger.
of Doom. As a bonus action, you target a creature you can see within 90 feet of you, and magically seal its doom for 1 hour. Once per turn, when you hit the doom target with an attack, it takes an extra 1d6 necrotic damage.
Okay.
In addition, a ghostly creature called Grim. Hi, Grim. Appears in an unoccupied space within 30 feet of the target. Grim's most blah 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 blah. The Grim is friendly to you now and the basic commands. If it vanishes, if you die when the Doom creature dies, when it's reduced to HP, or when you use the feature again. You can use each other types equal to Wisdom modifier and regain all expended uses when you finish a short rest. You can also expend this. Okay. Reasonable. In combat, the Grim acts during your turn. It can move and use its reaction on its own, but the only action it takes to dodge unless you take. You can also make it as part of the bonus action you take, or you can sacrifice one of your attacks when you take the attack action. That is so. That's interesting, Ross.
Oh, what's up?
We haven't. I haven't looked at the stat block yet. I will.
Right.
We have an issue immediately.
Oh.
A clash, if you will.
A clash.
Right. I'll explain it in a second. So, here we go. Ross, you use your Omen of Doom.
Yep. And
who do you want to attack afterwards?
Well, you use this, and then I suppose you would attack that same target.
You'd think so, wouldn't you? But we have an issue. We have a horrible issue.
Horrible in a very broken thing, or a...
Read it. Read the highlighted.
Advantages if you die when the Doom creature dies or is reduced to 0 hit points.
Alright, do you want me to just help you here? It vanishes.
Yeah?
You're not seeing the issue here?
I mean, it's like that it goes away, but you get a lot of uses of it.
Ross, I'm not calling it a bad feature. I am just saying this is a clash. Because you get an extra d6 damage, but you don't actually want to kill the guy fast. You want to kill him last.
Yeah, I guess.
Again, this is without looking at the Grim stat block. To be clear, I'm not judging yet. I will have my final judgment on whether I like this particular fact when we've actually,
Right, looked at it. Which, for the record, until Eve and I was able to find the stat block, I was reading this ability, and I was going to have an issue of, the appearance appropriate, for the stat block. I'm like, what? Are you telling me I could choose to have it be like a dinosaur or something, and it would be that stat block? But no, we found the actual stat block of it.
Right. We'll look over it I guess we should probably look at it now.
Which, it's your standard.
All right. So
it's your standard.
AC, 13 plus Wisdom is really good, actually.
That's pretty good.
5 times your Ranger level.
That's pretty standard for these beasts.
All right. 40 feet. It's got immunities, which is always nice.
Yeah.
Languages, blah, blah, blah. The Grim can move through walls. It adds your proficiency bonus
to any save he makes. So actually, pretty
any
good
ability check or save. Yeah.
So pretty good at all saves.
A melee attack roll equal your spell attack modifier. Okay. Reached 5 feet. 1d6 plus 3
plus your wisdom.
Plus your wisdom on it. That's
pretty sizable damage.
That's actually really good damage. Necrotic damage, and if the target is a creature, it has the frightened condition until the. Ooh, this guy's actually really good.
Yeah.
When a creature moves. Ooh, they've everything about this guy is actually really good. Okay, yeah. I maintain. You actually, because remember, you get like your wisdom modifier, which let's be generous and say 5.
Yeah.
You get your wisdom modifier of uses. What shocks
And
me is this guy just shows up whenever you put the omen on somebody.
yeah.
He doesn't. He has no connection to the guy. Just like unrelated to all that extra damage. I am a dog and I'm here now.
Yeah, no,
He's a good boy.
an ability that
Yeah.
I see this as like a funny little comparison to is the what was it? What's that ranger subclass that gets the Hound of Ill Omen?
I mean, that's a spell.
No,
Sure.
no, it's not a spell.
Either way, it's besides the
yeah.
point. Let's keep going.
Yeah, so far, pretty good, pretty cool.
Pretty cool. Just noted, I think you would mark somebody and you would save them for last if you can.
Okay, Harbinger
Your
of Doom.
control over Doom grows stronger, gaining the following benefits. Ominous Red deals an extra 1d6. Oh, that's really nice. When you deal damage to a creature doomed by your Omen of Doom, anyway, you can change the damage type to necrotic. And necrotic damage dealt by you or the Grim ignores resistances.
Cool, but we had our talk in the cleric video that resistance to necrotic damage isn't as
It's not
big, but
crazy, but I will say
it's nice to have.
If this was the only thing you'd get, I'd be upset. But you get a decent amount of other stuff.
Yeah.
11. The Grim gains resistance to bludgeoning, piercing, slashing damage. You gain resistance to necrotic. And when the target of your Omen of Doom succeeds on a save, you can take a reaction to force it to reroll the save with disadvantage. Use the new rule. Once you cause a save to fail with this benefit, you can't use it again until the current Omen of Doom ends. Interesting.
Really good. I think my personal favorite feature is the gaining resistance to bludgeoning and piercing and slashing damage. That is pretty meaty on your
The
beast.
strength of your Omen of Doom reaches its peak, granting the following benefits while it is active. Grim's Ominous Brand action deals that's 3d6. So that's total's wrong. It's 3d6.
Well, no, it's 2d6 extra damage.
I know. That just seems fluffy and confusing.
Right.
Chris is saying against yourself, the target has vulnerability damage dealt by, and the extra damage you deal with once you use this benefit, you can't use it until. Again, I wouldn't want to use Mark for Death here. For reasons I've discussed. I want that guy to stay around for like the entire combat.
I also, can I just say this?
Mhm.
I don't like Mark for Death either. For the simple reason of, I don't feel like, because like this, we can actually equivalent this to a spell slot. I feel like just them having vulnerability to the Hound of Ill Omen and just the Omen's Doom damage.
It's not worth it if you don't want the guy.
I feel like it would have been fine to have it to where it's just the Ranger's damage in general.
So,
But that might be a stretch,
here's
I'm
what
not
I
sure.
think. Here's the deal. I think what they expected was the dog was going to go after the guy.
Right.
But I'm like, no, the dog's not going after the guy.
What I really like about,
So he-
especially late game with this guy, this is our beefiest little companion.
He is really good. So here are my thoughts. First off, this is a subclass that I would absolutely take a 3-level dip in.
Yeah, I can see that.
But even beyond that, I am of the genuine belief that this subclass is actually one of the better 2024 Rangers I've seen.
Agree.
First off, do you know it wasn't mentioned in any single sentence?
It did not mention Hunter's Mark. Fuck yeah.
Second off, I need to point out the main ability of this stacks with Hunter's Mark, and also
Our Hound is just good.
no, ignore the Hound even. We have a lot of features. First off, we have a lot of features that we can just get even without activating our stupid resource,
Yeah.
which this book has been bad for. Let's be real.
I was going to say this.
So I'll say I think this is my favorite subclass of the book so far.
I can agree to that. I also will say, I don't know why. I know we didn't talk about it much other than the new spell. For some reason, I don't know why. I really like Bane on the hunt on the Ranger list. I can't tell you
Oh,
why, but I really
right.
do.
Anyways, we're about to take a break, but first,
Yep.
when we come back, we're gonna look at
The
Monk.
monk. Okay. Okay.
I will
And
will be back in a second.
yep. All right,
All right,
back from our break.
Fighter had a good showing. Let's see what we can get with Monk, with the Warrior of the Pestilent Haze.
Also,
So we're looking for like some.
the last one we took from our before our break was Ranger.
Was Ranger? Oh,
I mean,
what do I know?
Fighter was still fine.
Yeah.
So
You have a brewed and concentrated disease within yourself and can now push manifestations of it outward. You gain the following benefits: Claws of Pestilence. Your nails grow into a set of vermin-like claws. You can deal slashing damage when you hit with an unarmed strike instead of bludgeoning damage.
cool.
When you hit a creature with an attack granted to you by your flurry of blows, you deal extra damage.
Equal to one martial arts die roll.
Extra necrotic damage with one roll of your martial arts die.
Okay, that's solid.
When you hit a creature with an unarmed strike, you spend one focus or key points to force the creature to succeed on a Constitution throw or be cursed for 1 minute. While cursed, they are poisoned and take extra necrotic equal to one roll. Okay. Oh, that's actually really strong.
Yeah, and here's my question about this.
Only once per turn? Okay, that's fair, I guess. Yeah. If you forgo the extra damage, you can use your miss without.
So here is my question about this ability.
That last sentence, Ross. That last sentence makes this very strong.
Well, here's what you gotta keep in mind. No matter what, you are spending a key point. All that matters is if you're choosing to get the extra damage immediate, or having them make it to where there's a chance that you'd be able to do this for multiple turns.
Give me a second. You deal extras when you hit a creature with an attack. Your nail, you gain the you gain the following when you hit a creature with an attack.
It specifically is from your Fury of Blows.
Give me a second.
Oh,
yes,
okay.
me a. Okay. Sorry. Yes, I know. Give me a second. I know you're trying to answer questions, but you're answering questions I didn't ask.
Okay.
I am judging cost, so give me a second. Flurry of Blows, 1 key points. If you don't do that, then you can do this. But that means you can do both. Well, cursed. Good tries the poison condition. Takes an extra. I think, yeah. Unfortunately, Ross, I don't think I can allow this last sentence. That is too much to get on top of your Flurry of Blows. The Miasmic Plague is. The extra damage is fine.
Well, I was gonna say, for me, it's like I'm fine with it because hey, now all monks could be like, hey, I want this extra necrotic damage, so you sacrifice that for one use of your key point. Which, let's say, for instance, we're level 3, it's a D4. Let's say a monk could do 3D4 with just their Fury of Blows. I know it's not exactly how the math out, but for simplicity's sake, let's say it is. Instead of doing 3d4 in this turn as a bonus action, it's 2d4. However, they have a chance to fail a con save, which they can repeat, which means that they can get rid of it. And if they fail it at least once, hey, you get to come back. It'll take 2 turns to be able to make up for that 1 damage die you miss out.
Again, Ross, it is the poison condition, I think, Ross, it is. I'm going to come back to this.
Okay. Also, I do have a question, because a lot of times when it comes to stuff like with the poison condition, it tends to not matter if the target is immune to the poison condition. But because this is all the extra damage and the poison condition are attached to the curse, would that mean that the necrotic damage would go away if they're immune to poison, or since they're still affected by the curse, You know what I mean?
That I think in this case, sorry, I'll be honest, Ross, you did not ask that clearly. I'm going to be honest. So it took me a second to realize what you're asking.
Right. My apologies.
But if you're asking what I think you're asking, what you're basically asking is, can you be hit by one or the other?
Right.
And the answer I think is yes. I'm
That
going to say yes, you can.
that's what I thought with the wording, but I know like the wording is like very
Yeah,
specific.
it
So
can be, and I could see the end doing either way. Like I said,
right.
I need to look at the rest of what this subclass gives you, because I'm going to be honest, I don't like this set. And you know what? I should explain why I don't like it.
Okay.
I think, at the end of the day, the poison condition plus that same amount of extra damage, but more. Because you got to remember, ultimately, Ross, what you're doing is you are sacrificing 1 dice, not 2. I know you think you're
Right.
sacrificing 2, but you're sacrificing 1.
Well, no. The reason why I said 2 is like once you hit with 2 unarmed strikes, that's when you make up. Like that's when you start gaining damage. If that makes sense.
And I am telling you that's not quite true. So, the Claw of Pestilence, we'll look at this ability. When it is active, both of my Flurry of Blow attacks will up the damage. Well, that is true. There is a big caveat here. Because this means that on the next turn, 3 of my attacks, presuming I use Flurry of Blows, both my main punch and my 2 Flurry of Blow attacks will deal that extra necrotic damage.
Oh, I did not realize that. I'm used to seeing the extra damage that you get for stuff like this is normally once per turn.
It
That's for
doesn't say once
both.
per turn now, does it?
That's for both Fury Blows. You're right. I did not even notice that. So
Yes.
wait, if you forgo the extra granted 5 Claws of Pestilence,
You can.
hmm.
It is not confusing.
Well, no,
Basically, you're getting Miasmic Plague for the cost of Flurry of Blows. Actually, I'm not sure that's even true. Ross, it's time for grammar.
I'm rereading that last sentence because like I cannot tell if this last sentence if it's you have to sacrifice both the attacks of Calls of Pestilence to be able to have it to where it will do it for free, or if it's only for one of them.
Let me explain. First off, I will explain how they intend for it to work, but I will note the sentence means that if you just don't activate Flurry of Blows, you can activate this, but that's just definitely not what they mean, so we're just going to move on. So here's how this works, okay? Alright, so scenario 1, you use the damage. It is, I take my first attack, Flurry of Blows, both of those have the extra necrotic damage.
Yep,
Miasmic Plague
that's a lot of damage.
On that turn, I don't get any of the extra necrotic damage.
Yeah, that's what I think they were intending on.
Yes. I mean, that's the wording. There's no, in far as I'm concerned, there's no ambiguity. Either way, I think personally, Flurry of Blows plus Miasmic Plague is too much for one key point.
That's fine. Yeah, I think I was under the I was under the fine because I always assumed that there was like if you hit with one of the attacks, it'll do 1 extra necrotic damage. But the fact that it's both of them, that's pretty crazy.
Through your observations and meditation, you're attuned to the nature of pestilence and the creature's belief to carry it. You gain the following benefits. Advantage of things to end the poison condition or agents you resist the poison necrotic damage.
Cool.
Through triggering sounds, you can communicate simple concepts to vermin such as rats, pigeons, and insects. You gain the ability to decipher the noises and emotions. Vermin lack intelligence advantage, but friendly vermin could relate. You can cast analyze using also to target a tiny beast that's considered vermin. Once you cast it away, you can. That's oddly a lot. When you deal necrotic damage, you ignore resistance. Necrotic or poison
for
damage, by the
poison.
way.
Also, remember or poison damage. We'll come back to that.
Yeah. Don't overhype. Don't overhype.
Uh,
You can
yeah.
unleash a cloud of miasma on your enemies as a magic action. So
AKA
in
just a regular
2014,
action.
just an action. 2 key points to unleash a cloud of miasma in a 20-foot animation originating from you. Each creature of your choice in that area must make a Constitution saving throw. On a failed save, a creature takes necrotic damage equal to 2 rolls of your martial arts die and is cursed by your miasmic plague. On a successful save, it takes half as much damage only.
Cool.
I mean, it's actually not very good.
I mean, it's decent for it's decent for a group debuff, which is nice.
I mean, I guess, but I can just do the same thing on one guy for. Here's my issue with this ability, Ross, and why I don't like it. Unless there are a ton of guys within 20 feet of you.
Right.
You out damage this as a monk. You just out damage this.
More than likely, yeah.
As a monk with Fury of Blows. But let's move on.
Miasmic Contagion.
Constitution against you have disadvantage when you expend a key point to use your Step of the Wind until the end of your turn when you enter space within 5 feet of your choice. They must succeed on a Constitution saving throw or be cursed by your miasmic plague. I guess at level 11 I'm a little better about this. But I still don't like this. This is an insane amount for 1 key point.
It finally.
Additionally, when you deal necrotic damage to a target cursed by your magic plague, it takes extra equal. That is lame.
So can I say what my biggest I wouldn't say issue, because I think overall the subclass, at least for me,
it doesn't
it's fine.
deal poison damage, right?
Yeah, I wonder, because I would think one ability should deal poison damage.
I think, Ross, this is a good time to talk about our suspicion. Hi. We hope you've been enjoying this series. And we mean not to put a major accusation against the people who wrote this book. And we will confess, we have put at least one of the subclasses, the fighter subclass that we've already looked at, through a checker. Several checkers. And we put the art next to it through a checker as well. The art came up mixed. If you don't know what I'm talking about, we have suspicions that this might be AI. We hate that we have these suspicions, to be clear. But some of the abilities, unfortunately, scream to me AI. They remind me of things I have gotten when I have played around with generative AI myself, not to resale. To be clear, I do hope I'm wrong, and we are going to continue covering under the assumption that we are.
Right. Agreed.
But it would feel disingenuous not to confess that we've had these suspicions. And seeing a monk that gives you a benefit to poison damage that doesn't deal poison damage definitely lends credences to those thoughts.
Maybe at some point, here's a little theory. Maybe when they were originally making this, if you can you scroll up to the level 6 ability?
Yeah.
Maybe originally this AoE had done poison damage instead of necrotic damage, and that's just a leftover piece.
Maybe.
But
the issue I have is that too many things seem off. But again, I'd like to believe we are wrong.
Yeah,
anyway,
I would like to believe that we're wrong too.
At the end of the day, this subclass is lame, though.
Everything relies solely on the...
It's not even that. Let's be real. You can do 2 things. And I mean that more so in that you can give people the poison condition, and you can hit things harder. Also, it is ridiculously way too cheap for what can be such a debilitating ability. If we look at the level 11 ability here, Scurrying Spread. 1 key point. One use is Step of the Wind, which, as a reminder, in 2024 was severely buffed already.
I forget what the buffs were for Step of the Wind. I know for
It
Fury
was
Blows it got an extra attack, but either
either way, yes. So
yeah, the class that has the best movement speed. And heck,
they will infect everybody every turn for 1 key point, and there is no reason for them to ever not do that. The
you know
fact
what's
is,
really good with this?
this is game breaking.
You know what's really good with this?
Mhm.
Mobile. Because let's say we're in
Yeah.
a scenario, which I will say, one issue with this ability. Unless Step of the One is just dashing. At least in 2014, right? I'm not stupid.
Yes.
One,
Step of the Wind can be used to do multiple things.
can it?
Yeah, here. Let's take a look at the monk. It's disengage or dash.
Disengage or dash. Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yes.
Well, in that case, never mind what I was going to say. Because I was going to say
I,
the biggest issue with this ability is opportunity attacks. But even then, you don't need the...
monks also have insanely high AC, usually. Anyways, my point is, scurrying, this subclass is both boring and way too overpowered. I guess since it is my job, I have to suggest modification.
I mean, the first one, we already said, just remove that. We said remove that last sentence of what is this ability called?
Yes. So, the last sentence of
Contagious Discipline.
Miasmic Plague.
Miasmic Plague, yeah.
Yeah, this is all organized very weirdly. The other thing I will say, where does it say it? For Scurrying Spread, all I will suggest is just say, when you use Step of the Wind, you can, instead of expending 1 key point / focus point, you can expend 2. If you do so, then you can do this.
Okay, so
it's still a very strong ability.
Oh yeah, no, it's still pretty strong.
Much more reasonable in my mind.
Right.
Anyways,
let me make sure I'm spelling that.
That is our look at Monk.
And
here's what I will say, since we've addressed the suspicion. Towards the end of this video or series, depending on how Ross wants to do it, I will come back and say how I feel of my suspicions.
Right.
I will say if I feel they've been confirmed or disconfirmed. I need to look through a lot more, put a lot more through checkers, probably. And more importantly, just read a lot more of what's in this book.
Right.
For now, though, we're going to, again, treat it like it isn't.
Yep.
And next time we're going to cover...
And for the record, as of the recording of this part of this long video, we've not been influenced. We haven't seen anyone chatting about this. I think Pleeps was actually the one that brought it up in a conversation before we started this recording.
Yeah, a Paladin, by the way.
Paladin, okay.
Yeah,
so
the Ranger we looked at last time gave me some bad vibes. And I hate that it gave me some bad vibes, because we actually ended up kind of liking it.
Yeah. You know,
Anyway, we will come back to this later.
Yep. Thank you guys for what... no. We'll be back from a break.
My God.
Alrighty then, back from a break.
Back. Alright, let's keep going.
With
so
the
we got
Paladin
of Castigation.
Seek out and burn the wickedness to ash.
Alright. Let's keep looking.
So
why do we again we get our feature before the spell list. The spell list is not on top.
Yeah, I know.
As a magic action, you can expend to use or channel designated to those who you would bring
to justice.
Justice to in a fiery shackles. Choose a number of creatures up to your charisma modifier that you can see within 30 feet of yourself. Each creature must succeed on a strength saving throw or be wrapped in a fiery shackles and have its speed reduced to 0. As a bonus action, you can cause the shackles to flare. Each creature bound by these shackles takes 2d6 fire damage. This is just that one ability, that Rune Knight ability. A shackle creature repeats the same at the end of each turn. Yeah, this is just that Rune Knight ability.
It partially is. The Rune Knight ability That one more or less, you just trigger the activation of it when you hit a creature. This one you just activate and they make a save beforehand. I don't think there's an initial
Fair
save.
enough, but,
Right.
let's keep going. As a magic axeman, you can also use Channel Divinity to give yourself advantage on investigation and insight checks.
Cool.
As a bonus action, you can choose a creature within 10 feet of you. The target must succeed on a critical save throw or have the frightened condition for 1 minute while the target is frightened. In this way, it can't speak a deliberate lie. The condition is only the target takes damage or if uses bonus action again.
Meh.
This is a. These don't gel. These don't go together. The two things this ability do not go together. I think, Ross, ultimately, whether we determine this book is AI or not, we've disliked most of the things we found in it. And I hate that.
So
I always hate when that happens.
yeah, these are our new Channel Divinity options, and here's something we gotta keep in mind.
Mm-hmm.
Even though Paladin did get a little rework where they got more uses of Channel Divinity in 2024, I think they have up to 2 now. I think.
Yeah.
We gotta keep in mind for 2014, we only get 1 Channel Divinity per short rest.
Either way, let me explain my issue here. My issue is that these two abilities do not make sense together. What does this have to do with this? Anyways, let's keep going. So we have.
I'm guessing the idea is. So you know how you have Circle of Truth? Like this is like the. This is like the interrogating someone.
All right, let's keep going.
Yep.
So our spells are Chain of Conviction and Consuming Pyre. So let's take a look at Chain of Conviction.
Yep, 2nd level. No concentration.
A bonus action, 30 feet. Last minute, you hurl a spectral barb chain of creature that can see within range. They make a strength save. On a failed save, the target takes 2d6 force damage. They are pulled up to 30 feet towards you and bound by the chain. While bound by the chain, the creature is tethered to you and can't move or teleport to a space more than 30 feet away from you. And you have advantage on attack rolls made against the creature.
Okay.
On a successful save, they take half as much damage. The bound target repeats the save at the end of each of their turns. And in the spell, That's all the answer is.
Here's the biggest thing that I want to bring up about this
It's
spell.
not a bad spell. To be clear, it's not a bad spell.
Oh,
I don't think it's very interesting.
Here's what I find interesting about this spell, which I agree with you. For the most part, it doesn't seem that interesting.
Okay.
One part that I'm surprised isn't attached to this spell is the fact that it's not concentration. So a paladin, if they want to, they could turn after turn, chain, oh, you get over here, you get over here, you get over here, which could be a very funny little tanking idea of causing enemies to go attack you.
If we're doing a thing, you interrupted us.
You know what I mean?
All right. Yes. I get it.
It's not crazy strong.
No, it's not. And the 30 feet thing is interesting.
Yeah.
So I will say, let's add that ruling. You can only have one instance of this spell up at once.
I am fine with that. I didn't think it was that strong, but I can outright see where it could be really dumb. Let's see. It's only for paladin.
Let's nip a combo like that in the butt. Paladin and Warlock, the only ones who get it. Let's move on.
Approved. Only one chain at.
Then we have Consuming Pyre. You cause the creature that you can see within. Okay, sorry. It's 4th level action, 90 feet, verbal somatic. This is concentration. You cause a creature that you can see within range to burst into consuming unless the target must make a test and on fail they take 2d8 fire damage and 2d8 necrotic damage or radiant damage. Choose when you cast spell.
Cool.
And the radiant flames linger. On a successful save, it takes half as much damage only. While the flames linger, the creature takes the damage against the start of each of its turns. The target or another creature within reach can take an action while the target repeats the same throw. This is. I mean, it's a fairly generic damage spell, but it's okay.
Yeah. Here's what I find interesting about this. I briefly mentioned it to Eve when I took a glance at the spell and showed it to her. The fact that this doesn't trigger a automatic save at the end of each of its turns unless something else happens is interesting.
Yeah. But you can. You
Right.
can use your actions so you can be smart about it. So it's not bad.
Yeah, no, it's
But
not
I will say,
bad. It's just
I'm gonna
interesting.
be honest. The spells in this book just couldn't just skew boring. At least the ones we've looked at so far.
Right. There's
But
still
let's
plenty
finish
of
looking at
other.
this subclass. So
What?
far, I'm gonna be honest, I am not
What's the spell called?
consuming fire. Approved, by the way.
There you go.
It's fine. So far, I'm gonna be honest, I'm not particularly happy with the subclass. Let's see if they can change that. You and your allies within your protection ignore resistance to fire and radiant damage, and when an effective creature hits with a weapon attack, it can deal fire damage instead of the weapon's normal damage type.
Cool.
In addition, effective creatures in the aura can add your charisma modifier to investigation and insight checks.
Cool. I mean, this affects yourself, so like you're weirdly enough a really pretty decent investigator.
Which I guess is fine.
Yeah.
Whenever a
fine.
creature damages you, one of the allies within 30 feet that you can see with, you can take a reaction to gain advantage on your next attack roll against the person. Additionally, whenever you deal fire or radiant damage to a bloodied creature, you become aware of any lies the creature is wounded. What? That's stupid. That's a horrible ability. Bloodied, as a reminder, is having half your hit points.
Yeah. No. When I looked at this with Aviva, I'm like, yeah. This second part, I'll be honest, does not matter. The second part does not matter unless it's like, oh, the big bad guy. But even then, it's like
it doesn't matter who it is. By the point that you're already willing to hit somebody half to death, who cares whether they lied to you? Oh man, you're like half dead, but I don't know. You might be telling the truth, Bonk. You're a liar. like.
And here's the thing.
Here. Let me say it this way, Ross. If someone is lying to you, or not lying to you, as the case might be, would you, as a human being, be willing to let an interrogator beat you half to death just to get that answer?
No. And here's the thing.
This is stupid.
Even the other ability. Here's the thing. Getting a reaction for your first attack roll for free, because it's basically free except you use your reaction. That's cool. However,
I have other stuff I want to use my reaction on.
It's a combination of that, but also, especially in 2024, there are a lot of ways to get advantage. Especially if you're at 15th level.
Sometimes, Ross, people overestimate the value of advantage.
That is also the case too.
Advantage is great, but it's not worth spending a reaction on, especially this is all you get at 15th level. All right, our final thing. Let's just look
Our
at
capstone. For 10 minutes.
As bonus action, you embody 10 minutes or until you end them. Once you use the feature can't tell you blah blah blah. You can also blah blah blah.
Immune to fire.
You gain immunity to fire damage.
Cool.
Your Lash of Divine Flames increases by 10 feet. The hell is?
I think that just means your attacks.
Ross. Nothing. Nothing by that name. It doesn't mean attack. They would say attack. Oh no, sorry, I misread that. It increases your reach by 10 feet. Oh, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
I misread that. That's on me. That is on me.
Oh yeah.
And your melee attacks ignore half and 3/4 cover, except for melee attacks already ignore that.
I mean,
actually, sorry. Yes, for the record, melee attacks do not follow cover, and even if they did, if someone was behind cover and you're in melee reaching them, you know what you do? Step around.
Right.
Yeah. What a horrible ability. Okay. And when you hit a creature with an attack of opportunity, or when a hostile creature ends its turn within your reach, it must succeed on a critical saving throw or have the prone condition, and its speed reduced to 0 on the start of its next turn.
And do you see the big issue with this ability?
The start of its next turn?
Yep. Because the fact that it's not the end of the turn. If it was the end of the turn, then there'd be one thing. But the fact that it's the start of the turn means that... So, realistically, this ability only works efficiently if it's an opportunity attack. Because if a creature ends its turn, and let's say it fails. It fails, oh, it's prone, speed of 0. Oh, start of its turn. Oh, hey. It has its movement speed back. Sure, it has to sacrifice half of it to get up, but it's
I would
like...
also say... Okay, I know I didn't want to bring this up again. It's this uncanny valley vibe of, like, I guess you understand the rules of Paladin, but, like, none of this makes sense, and it makes me suspect of this book.
Yeah.
I guess I'll just say it. This subclass is dog shit.
There were
Approved
build...
without thought.
Here's the thing. I love my paladins, and I agree. Hey, here's the thing. There are a couple the ideas are there, but
This
it's...
is like a worse version of the. This is like a worse version of the one I'm playing.
I mean, here's the thing, Ross. The ideas might be there, but the ideas aren't saying anything.
Right.
Let's take a look through. So in this case, you get to reduce someone's speed to 0 with your Channel Divinity.
Yeah.
Okay. And do fire damage. And then you're better at checks and you can scare someone.
Yeah,
And
honestly,
they can't lie. Ugh.
do you know what this could have been? This could have been just the Inquisitor Paladin, and I feel like it missed the... I think it just missed the notes.
Yeah, and then we look at the aura. The aura
The
means
aura...
absolutely shit.
The aura would contribute to this Inquisitor-esque idea.
And then the worst ability, that 15th level ability, is like, who cares about any of this? It's like, oh great, I hit a bloody creature. Now they can't... Now I know every lie... I guess... Every lie he's told me in the past 24 hours. Who cares? I'm already trying to kill them.
Right. It's either that or... And Eve brought this up to me yesterday when we looked at this. Basically, it's like, oh, we're fighting this creature. Oh, he's bloodied. Oh boy, we've not had a single conversation since we walked into this room. Like,
Really?
like,
Anyways, yeah, this is approved without thought. I will say this. Here's the truth, and I hate to say this so early on.
potential could have been here.
This book has been mostly misses. It's had some cool
I like that
ideas.
Ranger for the...
Yeah, the Ranger was fine as an example.
Right, Ranger
But
was
for the
fine.
most part, it has been missing. And at this point, we're about halfway through, and it really needs to step its game up.
Yep.
And
And
the first person to try is going to be...
we're gonna take a break between here, but it's gonna be the cleric. Okay.
Alright, GG.
So we're gonna take a break. We'll be right back.
We are back. We are looking at the Harvest domain this time around.
So first off, community Almanac.
Almanac.
First off,
Almanac.
you gain a herbalism kit and proficiency.
Wasn't ready. I
Uh,
was not ready.
What?
I didn't... Give me a second to talk about the vibe this subclass is going for according to the description before we get to the actual features. You just jump right into it.
Yeah,
This is
please,
Harvest.
Ross, whatever your name is.
That's right. So yeah, you gain a herbalism kit, proficiency with it. You also gain proficiency in the nature of survival skill.
I like how
Alright.
I like how it's just out there like, hey, you received this kit, which is
You're right.
which is really funny.
Oh no.
And we get Harvest Domain, which
Whenever you finish a short or long rest, choose an aspect of the harvest cycle. Snowing, growing, or reaping. Consult the harvest main spell tables. You have the spells listed in the column, so you choose your spell. We've looked at something similar a while ago. So your spells are based off of,
what form you're in, basically.
Alright, we have looked at Summer Winds,
Yep.
and we've looked at Sanctum of the
Of the
and
Shepherd. So
Consuming Pyre. So it's only Field of Looting, Culling Sickle, and Harvest Moonglow. So we'll start with Harvest Moonglow.
Yep. Harvest Moonglow.
It is a 3rd level spell. It lasts an hour. It casts an action. Material components. You call upon the light of the harvest moon to eliminate a 20-foot radius sphere centered on the... Just with the visual condition, visualize shimmering images. When one of your allies within the light, it can use bonus action to absorb some light and gain 2d6 temporary. This is just Okay, wow, this is actually like ridiculously strong. This is strong. Ugh.
So
Mhm.
here's two things I want to bring up about this spell.
Yeah.
This first one is going to be rather really odd. Take a look at how it upcasts. Do you see any issues with it?
The temporary uh temporary hit points increased by 1d6 for each spell slot level above 4. What's the issue?
We're starting casting this level
It's a
3.
level-
So we're skipping out on a
Oh,
scaling for
you're
one
right.
level.
You're
But then
right.
we're like,
You're right.
which if that's for a balancing sake, I can get behind that.
Makes sense.
But-
You know what I always say, Ross. You know what I
Right,
always say.
Right, I know you don't like that scaling.
Anyways,
but also,
this isn't even
but also the other thing, which I feel like this might be something that you would like to attach to this, and I would not blame you for. There's no concentration to this.
No, it's worse than there's no concentration. This is so 2d6 temporary hit points,
Mhm.
and then anyone can access as a bonus action is insane.
Yeah.
I need to put some level. So first off, concentration. You're definitely
Yep.
right. Concentration.
Yep. Because
Second,
even though it's technically smaller than Twilight
Twilight
Domains,
Sanctuary.
this is like one that doesn't have to be centered on yourself. So technically, it's a
Correct.
safer version.
anyways, that being said, a couple other things. Temporary casting that limitation is one thing, but we're gonna need to do more than that. So, what we need to do is I need
Do you know what I would rework about this?
have it be your reaction instead of their bonus action is kind of what I'm leaning to.
Well, I was just gonna say have it just be our bonus action. Like, have it work similar to Aura Vitality, but as long as just an ally is in the area, by the time it's your turn, you can use a bonus action and they'll get temp HP.
I think the issue with that is that this is something that they should be able to access on their turn. I say use your reaction instead of their bonus action.
Okay.
It causes the same effect as what you said, but it really keeps the preserve that you can use this on their turn. Then you can be like, get in here, and then you can give them the healing. Okay, yep. Then we got
Also, are we
Culling Sickle.
changing the scaling, like how that weird one level upcast thing?
Yes, we are.
I like
That
this
one-
one.
All right, Culling Sickle. It is a 3rd level spell. It is a bonus action. Lasts a minute. You do concentrate. You create a ghost sickle that lasts for the duration and can strike at your foes. The sickle appears hovering in your space and moves with you. When you cast a spell on its bonus action turn, you can direct fly at and strike a creature within 30 feet of you. Make a ranged spell and hit the target, takes 2d8 necrotic damage, and you gain temporary points equal to half the damage dealt. After the sickle, this is just a bare bones basic damaging spell that gives you temporary hit points.
Yeah.
But it
there's nothing-
does decent damage.
It does okay damage.
Yeah, 3rd level, I guess. It's hard to judge. I'm gonna say the spell's fine. We're moving on.
Yeah, no, nothing. Also, I need to look.
Fields of Reaping is our final spell that I want to look at.
Yep.
It's
I
a
don't think
concentration
you'll like
minute.
this one.
You create a shadowy field that reaps escaping life force in a 30-foot cube. Originates from a point with a creature hostile to you in the field when it appears or when it enters the field for the first time. And turn there is cursed until the end of the next turn. Will curse the first time the creature takes damage in turn and takes an extra 1d6 target creature rejoices within the field that isn't cursed by it gains a number of hit points. What?
What was that other spell?
That is a 5th Field of Reaping is what we're looking at right now. What do you mean about another
You
spell?
see why I said
I
you
feel
see
that
why
like
I
is-
said I don't think this.
This is ridiculously underpowered, Ross.
okay, let me look
Uh-huh.
at. Yes. So yeah, I was looking at this with Eve. Yeah, no, this is for a 5th level spell. Like, you have to be in a very specific situation to where this would be a quote unquote powerful spell. But here's the thing: I wouldn't consider it powerful simply for the fact
Mhm.
of 1d6 necrotic damage. That's
Yep.
such minor damage in
Ross,
comparison.
Here,
Especially
Ross,
once you have fifth
here.
level
Let
spells.
me show you. Let me show you. Keeping in mind that this was designed for 2024, so we're gonna look at the 2024 healing word. So 2d4.
34.
Let's say we're casting this at 5th level. How many d4s are that?
How does it scale
That's
again?
right.
It increases by
2d4.
2d4.
2d4 per level.
Yes. Yes, it would be 10d4.
10 d4 healing for a bonus action, and then you can just use your action to do however much damage you'd like.
Versus this, which, I mean,
Is not that.
what's cool is the
It's
fact that it could
like-
affect multiple creatures at once, theoretically, but
really. Not really.
What my
Also-
opinion was on it, it should have been a first level at most.
Anyways, this is definitely not a character, but I wouldn't want this at 1st level, no. But 2nd level would be reasonable.
approved with...
Not fifth level.
Approved without thought.
And then what was the spell before, just so I can, get
Culling
that down?
Sickle?
Calling Sickle, thank you.
Alright, so let's look at the actual features. Cornucopia. If you don't have the incapacitated condition when you start a short rest, you can magically create a cornucopia filled with enough food for a number of creatures you can touch. When a creature finishes a short rest, you can distribute the number of d4s equal to your cleric level among creatures you ate the creature and regains healing and any short rest. Basically, once per day, you can heal everyone a decent amount.
Right.
Actually, that's not a lot.
Well, here's the thing. Here's my issue when I took a look at this ability.
Mm-hmm.
Because here's the thing. I like the healing. I like this cool little ability. My only issue is the fact that because the short rest has to end for then the allies to get the D4, that means that this, when it comes to the order of operations, no matter what, these D4s are happening after the players use their hit dice. Which would mean you're in this weird scenario of...
When a creature eats the food fish, you can share a number of d4s equal to your cleric level among with each creature rolls dice. Their large regains hit points. Ross, you're misreading it. You're misreading it, Ross.
Oh, am I misreading it?
Yes. Immediately. When you
Oh.
start a short rest.
Oh.
Everything vanishes when the short rest ends.
Oh, I see. Okay.
My issue is... I'm uncertain this is ever going to be enough healing to justify it. I think what I am going to say is you can just do this once per short rest.
Like you just give out a number of D4s equal to
Every
your
short
cleric
rest,
level.
yes.
Oh, okay. Let me scroll back up to the subclass bit.
If we want to tie a limit on this, what I would say is maybe in order to spend them, you must also at least spend one hit dice.
So like you expend one of your hit dice to then
No,
heal.
they. The people getting healed. The people getting healed.
Oh, they. Okay.
Anyways, let's keep going. As a magic action, you present your holy symbol and expand a use of your channel divinity to invoke the spirit of the harvest. For 6 creatures of your choice within 6 feet of you gain heroic inspiration. A creature must finish the longest work and gain. Additionally, you grant all targets one of the following benefits to your current harvest aspect is a different one. It changes to match the choice.
So I'll say this, please. When I looked at
A
this,
target gains a temporary equal to your wisdom modifier until they return turn cycle, which adds. Growing is actually really good. Reaping. Oh, but until the end of your next.
yeah. So plebes,
A target does extra the first time it damages a creature before the end of your next turn.
I have multiple
Alright.
issues with this ability.
I mean,
So
here's the thing.
Oh.
You can
Okay.
say your issues, Ross, but can I state my stance as a DM first,
yep.
if you don't mind?
Yep.
Here is where I stand. The sowing, growing, and reaping abilities suck. But inspiration is actually really powerful.
it is, and whenever Eve and I looked at this ability, we were immediately like, for bringing it to 2014, that's just gone. Like, looking at stuff that you've looked at earlier when it involves heroic inspiration, we assumed that that was going to be axed.
Ross, I have some surprising news for you.
It's not axed this time?
No, I'm fine with it.
Oh,
You missed
okay.
my issue with the last thing we looked at that gave heroic inspiration, which, for reference material, do you remember which subclass that was?
I do not.
It was the first one we looked at, I believe.
I don't think the barbarian had one. We looked at multiple things that had heroic inspiration, and you had like very similar wordings.
I'm pretty sure there's only been one thing.
But either way, like
Let me see if it's barbarian. You know what? I'll be smarter. I'm gonna control F. Inspiration.
Not bard.
Yeah, I know. We'll go past. Wait, what was that? This was this ability.
that was just that ability.
This is the druid. They're just talking about inspiration. The sinner. What is this?
That's a rogue. We've not looked at that.
All right, then we can ignore this. Oh.
Maybe
Really? What?
I know we
It was
talked about this with
definitely
this book.
in this book.
Oh, maybe it was a part of a couple spells.
It was a spell. You're right. It was a spell. But you're right. It was a spell.
You went back a little
Also,
too far.
Yeah, no, I went more than back a little too far. Oh, sorry.
Uh,
All right, let's go.
So
Do you remember the spell? It was in the druid list.
I think so.
Ancestral communion. Here it is.
Right, that was one thing. This one just knew. Basically,
Yeah, the reason this one is known, by the way, is I think a first level spell slot is way too easy to get it.
right.
The difference, if you look at this cleric, is how much you're going to have a lot less channel divinities than you are first level spell slots. Plus, there's a hard limit.
True. Okay.
That is enough that I will say this is fine.
So, yeah, here's what I am going to say.
I will
for the rest of my
state on
stock
my
sale.
table, you cannot use it for the things that the reality altering stuff we have.
Right, which makes sense.
Alright, go on.
Here's also what I don't like. So first off,
Yeah?
I like how it goes through a big you get all these spells when you're in each mode, right? And you can change it on a short or long rest. But then you just have your channel divinity where it's like, oh, hey, you can change it. I don't like that. I just don't.
Yeah, I guess.
But that's just me personally. I'm like, come on, like I gotta be committed to one of these. Like if I'm in this form, sure, I can change it on a short or long rest. That's fine. Just
Alright.
keep it that way. But also, the scaling for these, not great.
It's bad. Let's keep going.
This part, Eve and I really like.
You can draw upon the powers of the
Yeah,
harvest
like
cycle.
this.
Depends when a creature you can see within 30 feet of you fails saving throw or particular type determined by your current action, you can take a reaction to allow it to reroll the d20. And the type of save throw is
So sowing is dexterity and charisma, growing is constitution and intelligence, and reaping is wisdom and strength.
Additionally, after it fails, roll a number of d4s equal to the target regains hit points equal to the total.
And number of times equal to your wisdom modifier.
Long rest. This is fine. Yeah.
I think that's really cool.
When capstone time. When
Yep.
you use your Bell Harvest, you can evoke the animal cycle life never to get yourself in the future channel. Additional benefit based on your current target gains the effect of the regenerate spell for a minute, or until you lose concentration. Target gains the advantage on save those and ability checks for up to 1 hour, or until you lose concentration. Target gains resistance to necrotic, psychic, and poison for an hour. Nah. This subclass is, I'm gonna be honest, fine.
Yeah,
Definitely
overall it's
for
fine.
the record. It's
Oh.
fine. It's not
not-
again, it's not as bad
but
as
it's not
other
good.
stuff.
If that makes sense.
I am still waiting for this book's standout subclass. But
Right.
maybe we'll find it when we look at
I'm guessing rogue. Final answer.
Nope.
the
Nope.
wizard.
Wizard, which there are two.
Alright. Peace. See you guys after this quick break.
Yep.